Hey, Marking here, and this is I'm gonna go through a few stories just to catch up on things. Mostly headline reading, read the most important paragraphs, and then I'll move on. Right. So this one is by Revolver. I'm not too familiar with it, but I'll just roll with it. But I have seen this a lot on the social media sites. Again, I keep repeating, social media was pushed by the government to control the population, right? To push divisiveness. Okay, this were the rumors back in 2008. But again, was it like hindsight 2020? So we can see how it is today. What's going on, right? Again, what goes on there is the corporations, the government, the commies, whatever you want to call them. They all use a small sample to push an agenda. Okay, there's a good reason it's called Black Twitter. Okay, it's a good reason. Anyway, this is by Revolve. This is called Dishonest Press Pushes Phony Umbrella Man Story to Hide the Truth of Riots. Okay, we all know they're rioting. The media is calling it a protest, right? So what the media is doing is saying this man is responsible for the riots. Okay? This man is the cause of the riots. That's essentially it. Let's see if it plays. Okay, yeah. So, anyway, and this goes into a little bit more story. It goes into a little bit more depth about how they're blaming quote unquote the white supremacists, according to affidavit which is unproven. Umbrella Man is a member of the Aryan Cowboy Brotherhood, a minor prisoner, and it's like unbelievable. Okay, this is how they try to spin things, right? They're all against you. Okay, who you suspect is against you, they're against you. Okay, these major publications, and the thing is, right? So here's the thing, right? A lot of times when it comes to communists, right? How they identify other communists is through simple buzzwords. All right, imagine like little coded words that each communist knows. A perfect example: if somebody calls you a comrade, hey comrade, it's just like, but that's an obvious quote unquote example, but very poor example, but still it's an obvious one. So they try to recognize each other through code words, believe it or not, all right? So if you have a commie supporter, commie sympathizer, let's call it that, and they're looking to hire like-minded people, they'll simply look for code words. So this is why human resources, even though you push these up on talented people there, it'll end in disaster because they'll hire like-minded people instead of people who really got the jobs. Again, I once tried to like try going to the big journalism corporations. Unfortunately, it's like when you okay, a lot of these places hire based on not merit but who you know or the family members. Like I forget the words from the top of my head right now. Yeah. Anyway, I used it tons of times, just can't remember it right now. Anyway, so yeah, that's the point of this stuff here. How they acquire and maintain power. Okay, once you hire one of them, they'll hire others who are either nuts or like themselves. All right. Again, all it takes is 10%, 10% of any company to be quote unquote woke or to be communist, and they'll hurt the other 90% because the other 90% are normal people. Okay. So, and this article goes into like the media would never even bring up this guy. The state's silent on this guy who's defending property while some let's just say colored folks, all right, you know, again, like for people who are on the fence about this color stuff, right? This proves that color doesn't matter, right? Yes, I know everything is on a quote unquote bell curve sometimes, but you know, for those ever want to take that path and accuse everybody or something, like just remember there's good people everywhere, okay? Okay, Larry Elder, okay, Thomas Sowell, just the great folks everywhere. Unfortunately, some communities are wrecked, partially due to feminism, but a lot of it is due to communists. Okay, when you remove the man from the household, you lose all critical thinking. You lose all essentially people telling you men are leadership, so you lose leadership, right? That's essentially what happens in a lot of these households. Again, I've seen this firsthand. I've seen this as a teacher. I've seen this from very young kids to young adults. Okay, I've seen this stuff. So again, the media is trying to reframe this and stuff. It's black people rioting or the leftists. It's a person on the right or somebody who's a Aryan cowboy brotherhood, whatever the hell I want to call them. Just say kick, you can remember, get over with, okay? All right. Again, it's the media agenda, somewhat tied into this story, and this was by Revolver. I didn't see who wrote it, unfortunately, so I can't give it credit. Anyway, here's another article. This one is 2020 is for all the marbles in the world, right? Again, this is very important. So the different ways to look at things, right? So people want to say, okay, the communists want to divide and conquer. This is why they try to push feminism and basically black identity, right? That's really it, right? So this is by Tyler Durden. This is Zero Hedge. So the white black nationalist color revolution made it possible part by the global cap appears to be going extremely well. According to Foreign Policy magazine, the Trump regime is clinging to power, but it's only a matter of time until the identitarian moderate rebels drive the Putin-backed fascists. Okay, so we see the lies here, right? This is not Putin. The way you know it's not Putin bash because the communists are attacking Russia. So when you notice the communists never attack the CCP, okay? The communists never attack Islam, okay? So this is how you know your enemies, okay? I like what this is authored satirically. Satirically. Oh gosh, I can't believe I'm trouble pronouncing the word today. Anyway, by C.J. Hopkins. So it's like satire a bit, but there's a lot of truth in satire, unfortunately, okay? Portland, Oregon, where just under 6% of the population is black, has of course been the vanguard of the revolution, as since the Russians stole the election, influencing gullible African Americans. These things used to be like fun stuff to write. These things, again, I used to love like satire, Mad Magazine. It's a shame. Again, one of the reasons, one of the things that communists tend to do is basically end fun, right? If you end fun, life becomes, how do I say this? It's just about work. Okay, you want to be a quote-unquote productive human being. Okay, you won't get to live your life. This is why communism is very dangerous. This is why the people, these leftists, they don't understand what they're really asking for. Okay, a lot of people just do not understand their own being, right? Men understand themselves, right? Most, again, the 80-20 rule, 80% of men understand themselves, the 20% become leftists, okay? Same thing with women, except it's opposite. Only 20% of women understand themselves, okay? A man can take like a view of everything around them, a woman can't. Okay? And you can see this in terms of different races. Usually the smarter quote-unquote races, smarter culture, they understand everything around them. They can like pull themselves back and analyze everything that they see. That's what I know about smart people too. They do the exact same thing. Okay, not all the time, but a lot of times, people who are smart understand how. Imagine the mechanism of a watch. They understand every little detail of it, while somebody who just has a watch only sees the surface of a watch. That's the best analogy I can make. So, I'll leave this article here. Let's move on. So, Junkies Overrun Manhattan Midtown neighborhood. They're shooting up in broad daylight, leaving behind jug-filled needles. I shouldn't be laughing. See, sometimes the reason you laugh is because you're glad it's not you. I'm glad I'm nowhere around here. It's also, when you laugh, it's a relief. It's a way to relieve stress, okay? So these are some of the mechanisms why people laugh. Even though it's like, technically it's not funny, it's kind of like a relief when you laugh. Okay? So much like San Francisco, there's been an influx of people punching needles into themselves. Anyway, a section of New York's once bustling neighborhoods, Midtown, has been overtaken by junkies. Pedestrian plaza at Broadway. Again, This is why I'm actually against. Okay, so the two trains of thoughts. Drugs should be legalized because you shouldn't be arrested for affecting your own body. But the thing is, because America is so diverse, you don't have a single focus anymore. These things can succeed in countries where it's about family. In America, where you have the nuclear family being destroyed, you have a lot of people from a certain um, not completely, but half the continent is below the equator, right? You have people from those type of areas. They tend to be self-destructive. It could be cultural. It could be genetic. Okay, this is why I'm actually against um, like like certain people seem to be affected by different types of drugs. Like marijuana is very destructive to the black community. Like it's I've seen it. If anybody who's ever gone to our projects, who've ever visited friends at the projects, you know what I mean. Okay, the people that are generally useless. I mean that in the most direct way. Not everybody, but a lot of these people just hang out in the hallways, smoking whatever, and talking about everything but work, talking about everything but family. They're talking about useless stuff such as rap. Okay, they're not talking about math. They're not talking about English. They're talking about everything that makes society dangerous. And this is why it's like I'm actually against drugs. I know I'm taking the unpopular path. A lot of people are, I believe, are against drugs. They go along with the societal trend because all they hear in the media, and even people on the right, legalize drugs. The positive legalizing drugs, like you get men back in the household in the black communities, but it's like trying to artificially fix things. How you do things is honestly get rid of feminism, make feminism a crime, get rid of all feminist teachings. Of course, it never will. You have a bad chance of legalizing drugs than that. Again, it just shows how wrapped up in communism we really are, in Marxism really are. Okay. Anyway, the pedestrian plaza, blah blah. When the pandemic hit, the every quiet set in, influx, blah blah blah. Officials of City Hall have acknowledged an unsettling situation and branded it entirely unacceptable. But again, what bothers me is like these people vote for these things, right? But again, it's like Nancy Pelosi said, you can put a glass of what deodorant and they'll vote. Again, I know a lot of black friends. They know zero politics, but they just know to check off the D. You know, the black people love the D, right? So that's it. And this is my experience with my friends. Oh my gosh, that's horrendous. This is my experience again with my black friends and these communities. They don't have the intelligence. Usually, intelligence belongs to men. Okay, yes, women are intelligent, but it's about logic. It's about self-understanding. Like I said. So anyway, these are some of the photos, and this is disgusting. Imagine having a kid. Why would you bring your kids around this? You know, the only way to stop this, you need to okay. So the way to fight an iron fist is with the opposite fist. Okay, because you're so far into communism, you no longer they no longer care about a debate, an intellectual debate. They will rather assault and fight you because they'll lose the intellectual debates. They'll lose the observing of reality. They'll lose nature. They'll lose history. This is why they want violence. These people. Okay, but hell, they voted for the mayor. So what do I know? You know, maybe it is a self-inflicted wound.